Hello. Welcome to ActionNET tutorial provided by Spin. In today's video, you'll learn more about the Draw menu. This menu has 3 main tabs and 3 other submenus, which are the display settings, and horizontal and vertical toolbars for editing symbols and objects. These toolbars are located on the Drawing tab. It's possible to create several objects and also add dynamics in it. Let's go to ActionNET for better understanding of each tool. This is the initial look of the Draw menu. In the Display Settings menu, you can choose the type of display, change the background colors, resize the display, place animation, among other options. Let's talk about each tool in vertical menu. The Selection tool is for selecting objects. The Direct tool is for direct selection of an object within a group. The Hand tool moves the screen to the desired position. The Rectangle button creates rectangles of the desired size. Note that after creating the rectangle, you must click the Selection tool again. Otherwise, whenever you click on the screen, new rectangles will be created. To delete them, click on the object and hit Delete on your keyboard. Same goes for circles. In the polygon, when you finish creating this object, right-click to finish. Same goes for polyline. To create buttons, you can click button or push button. You can choose the size of each of them. You can also create new labels. To change the text of both buttons and labels, simply change it in menu on the left side. You can also create new text boxes. In Create a Checkbox option, there are new options, such as Combo Box, List Box, Menu Item, Sliders, among others. To create any of these, simply choose and click on the screen, choosing the size of each. In Insert Symbol, you can choose the main symbols to place them in your project. Also, when you create your own symbols, you will see them in this menu. In Symbol Factory, there are more symbol options that can be used. To search what you want, simply scroll through the menus and, to insert them into the project, just click and add them to your display. In Insert Image, you have the option to add any figure that is on your computer to your project. In Create a Web Browser Window option, you can create a web page viewer directly on your display by simply placing the desired size. The option to add the desired page is in the left menu. In this same option, there is also Select Component, which has new components that can be used for your project. Such as the Browse DLLs, which aims to find specific DLLs, or a pie chart. To configure it, double-click on it. In addition, you also have options of Report Viewer, PDF, XPS, other displays, among others. We will insert Child Display, which aims to show another display on a smaller screen. It's also possible to place an alarm window and an alarm areas window. There are 3 types of charts available. To configure them, double-click on them. Finally, in Data Grid window, you can show some database you want. These were the main features of the vertical toolbar. In horizontal toolbar, the first option is to zoom in on the screen. If you want to place one object on or under the other, there's the option to move backward or move forward, where you can choose which object will be above or below the other. By selecting 2 objects, you can move them as desired by aligning them left, right, or center. You can also select 3 or more objects and align them both horizontally and vertically, leaving the same distance between all selected objects. If you place one object over another and need to change the object below, you can click on the top object and then on Hide Select Element, change what is necessary. Let's change color, for example. And then click Show Elements, that all hidden components will appear on the screen. The next tab is called CodeBehind. It defines the functions associated with each display. 4 methods already appear by default in Editor. Display Opening, which is executed when the screen is opening. Display is Open, which is called at a regular interval while the screen is open. Display Closing, which is executed when the screen is closing. A dialog on OK, which is normally used to guarantee data in a dialog box. Let's go to ActionNET for better understanding of this code editor. This is the initial appearance. As you can see, code changes have already been made to better demonstrate the example at the end of this video. When display opens, the tag Inicio tag will receive a value of 2. While this display is opened, the same tag will be incremented by 1 every 1000 milliseconds. To change this value, simply type the new value and run Display is Open every field. For now, we will not use Display Closing method, and, since our display is not a dialog type, we will not use dialog on OK either. After you write your code, click Build to ensure there aren't errors in it. In our case, no errors were found. However, if an error is found, it will appear in list of errors below the editor. You can also change the language used. The supported ones are C# and VB.NET. You can also write objects actions through scripts. To do this, object dynamics are used through the action option. We'll talk about this a little further. The next tab is Symbols. This tab lists the symbols used in project. As said before, you can use symbols that are already in library or create your own symbols. Returning to ActionNet, let's create a new symbol. Mount it as you need it. And at the end, right-click with all the symbol components selected and choose Make New Symbol. Note that the Group and Make New Symbol options appear to have the same function, but they're different. This will be spoken in an upcoming video. Enter the desired name in your symbol. In Folder, you can organize your created symbols into different folders. If you don't want any specific folders, leave this field blank. You can also enter Description. Notice that all components have become one and that symbol appears on the Symbol tab. It's also included the symbol searched in the library and another symbol that was already created in this project. In Draw menu, there's also a left menu that has other options depending on the selected object. It is used to identify object, if necessary, in scripts. Appearance configures the appearances of the object. Transform adjusts object rotation, layout, height, width, and position of the object. Dynamics configures the dynamics of the object, which will be seen next. Replace is intended to replace the tags and strings used in display settings. Finally, the object dynamics aims, as the name says, to provide dynamics to objects. The action option performs actions triggered by the user interface. Shine changes the appearance of the object with a little animation. Hyperlink opens a website. Security sets the permissions of the object. Visibility changes the visibility and opacity of the object. Move drag moves the object dynamically. Scale changes the size of the object. Rotate rotates the object, and skew deforms the object dynamically. Let's go to ActionNet for better understanding of these tools. In Appearance, in Fill field, you can choose the fill color of object. If you don't want any, just uncheck the checkbox next to it. The same goes for Line, which is the line color. In addition, you can also change the stroke style in Stroke. There are several options. You can also change the static opacity of the object. Values range from 0 to 1. As an example, 0.8 and then 0.5. In Transform, the angle of the object changes. To do this, simply move the horizontal slider. To change the size of the object, enter the new value you want. Let's leave the dynamic setting to be explained later. But if you want to choose it, click on Config button or double-click on the object. In Replace, you can replace the tags. On this object, no tags are used yet. And finally, we return to the display settings. Double-clicking on the object opens the dynamic settings. In the Action option, Event field, you choose the type of event that will call the action. It can be the right or left click of the mouse as well as 2 clicks. In Actions, you can place or toggle the value of some tag, open or close a display or layout, or execute expressions or scripts. The Action option of executing a script gives you the option of choosing which method to execute. If you don't have one yet, you must click New. Then, you will be redirected to CodeBehind to the new method you've created. Let's, for example, assign a value to a tag in this method. After you write your code, make sure you click Build. There are other options of the dynamic configuration. Shine option gives animations for when the mouse is on top of the object, when it isn't and when it's selected. In addition, you can place a hint as text that will appear whenever the mouse is on top of the object. In hyperlink, just insert the site that will be redirected. In security, you can choose what will or will not enable the dynamics of this object, as well as users that have permission to make something with this object. In bar graph, you can fill your object according to value of a particular tag. You can choose which direction it will be filled and tag responsible for it. In addition, you can also choose the range of tag value and the percentage of fill. In line color and fill color, you can choose a color for line and for fill according to the value of a particular expression or tag. You can add or delete new fields for values, according to your needs. In visibility, you can leave the object visible or not depending on an expression, or change the opacity dynamically according to value of an expression. Also, the ranges of expression values and opacity values are chosen. In move drag, also according to an expression, you move an object horizontally or vertically. Choose the ranges of the expression and position values. The same goes for scale. In rotate, you can choose rotation in RPM or angle, and choose where rotation center will be. The same goes for skew. Let's go to a practical example of this menu. First I'll explain how the screen was set up and then, the result. The polygon has been dynamically configured with action to execute a script. We'll see this script in CodeBehind later. An animation was placed on object by placing the mouse over it and a tooltip on tooltip. In hyperlink, the spin website was placed. In bar graph, the object will be filled vertically from the bottom to top according to value of the tag inicio that ranges from 0 to 9. In move drag, it will move horizontally according to the value of that same tag. The red and green buttons aim to change the value of tag cores to change the color of the circle next to it. To do this, we chose the dynamic action of setting values. And in the circle, the fill color option according to the value of that tag. To show value of this tag, we insert tag inicio and text IO option. The child display component, configured in the left menu, serves to show any display in project. We will use about as an example. An alarm window was also set. To set an alarm, go to the Edit menu, Alarm submenu. Let's use an existing alarm group. Then, in the Items tab, it was associated with tag inicio to this alarm. Its condition is to be equal to the value 2, which is its limit. In addition, the warning group was chosen and was written a message to appear when the alarm goes off. The drilling chart was also set up for tag inicio. If you want to, it's possible to track other types of tags in real time. A web browser window has also been placed on display, which is configured in left menu and shows Spin's website. In addition, a report viewer was added. To create a report, go to Edit menu, Reports submenu. Note that there's already a report created called Report 1, which has also been edited in Text Editor. Data grid points to a database table. This database was defined in Edit, Datasets submenu. A new provider has been created. To test if database could be found, click Test in Connection String, and the error or success message will appear. Finally, the last chart follows the values of tag cores and tag inicio tags. In CodeBehind, display opening method initializes tag inicio with value 2. Every 1000 milliseconds, which means 1 second, display is open method is executed by incrementing in 1 tag inicio. If value exceeds 9, tag is reset to 0. Mouse left button down 1 method was created in dynamic action of polygon and drawing tab. This method only assigns the value 0 to tag inicio. Don't forget to click Build to verify if your code is correct. Let's run this project to see how it works. We'll talk more about how to give startup in projects in another video. Notice that our polygon walks horizontally and is filled in according to value of tag inicio, which is shown in text box. In addition, by placing the mouse over the object, there is an animation and it increases slightly in size. When you click the buttons, the circle next to it changes color. You can also see the other display, called About. In Alarm window, note that when the tag inicio is equal to, alarm is triggered. The graph shows variations of tag in real time, indicating also when the alarm was triggered, through alarm symbol. Web browser navigates through Spin's website, and through the reporting window you can see the report created previously. View the database shown in Data Grid. Finally, you can see graph of the 2 tags present in this project. For better visualization of these tags, tag cores was changed sometimes. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the next ActionNET tutorial video provided by Spin. If you have any question, please contact us.